Hey there, friends and enemies, Jope here again, and unfortunately today was not a good day for Borderlands in general, as the expected Day 30 update, which was supposed to be pretty massive with balance changes, some bug fixes, a bunch of buffs, and all of that kind of good stuff, has been delayed until early next week. Now, one of the major issues that I saw with all of this is the fact that they waited until the update was supposed to be available before announcing that this was going to be delayed. So, likely what happened is there was some issues, maybe something that's breaking the game that was going to be in the update, which delayed it. Maybe they didn't get the certification for a big update from one of the consoles, which again would push them to delay it. A lot of speculation there, but there's any number of reasons that that might have happened. Unfortunately, it still sounds like we are getting this long before any of the major updates that are going to give us new content, such as the seasonal event that's coming here shortly, as well as the first Invincible boss, which is obviously much later down the line, but you'd expect a lot of these improvements, stability, and performance, especially along with the balance adjustments to happen before that does launch. And that brings me to the second part, which is that the weekly update, which was supposed to happen much earlier in the day, just dropped a little bit over an hour ago, and it's kind of very funny. So, if you didn't know, the game has a weekly update where you'll have a wildcard mission which drops a guaranteed legendary. In this case, it's the OHM. Oh my god, I got a Malawan submachine gun, which is solid. It's fine. Like, I think this is a good weapon to chase if you want to do the wildcard mission. It's not a bad one either. You definitely want to check this one out if you haven't done it in the past as a wild, like obviously the first time available as a wildcard mission. But at the end of the day, the funny part is that the boss, which everyone was hoping would be made a boss that everyone wants to farm for certain weapons, ends up being the Oppressor, which is the flying plane that nobody likes to tackle and doesn't even have the best loot. And this brings me to a idea that I have that I feel like would be largely beneficial. So there's two things that I would like to see. One of two things happen in this game, because there's so many bosses that it does feel like we're never going to get through all of them in this cycle for the true bosses. So there's a couple options. You could have a second or a rotating big encore be available at any given time. Say you have one primary and then a second one that rotates throughout the week, like on a daily reset. Or you could just have two available each and every week, something like that. Or even more, you could have like special events every so often where every boss or a ton of different bosses are available for the big encore. Because right now, the drop rates are very low for a lot of the weapons. I made a whole video on that. A lot of people agree, disagree, whatever the case may be. But it does feel like farming for the big encore when you have to wait a week to see what hopefully boss it is, and maybe it's a good boss, maybe it's not. It just feels a little bit frustrating because it just doesn't seem like there's enough there to get excited about. And so because of that, you're kind of left waiting to see what's next. And if it's a boss that you don't want to farm, then that leaves you kind of SOL for that entire week when you want to farm big encore. Like, I don't necessarily want to tackle the Oppressor for an entire week. I might farm a little bit just to try to get a couple legendaries and see what happens. But yeah, just a funny day in the Borderlands community. By no means am I trying to be negative towards this game in the grand scheme of things. I do think Borderlands 4 is still very good and is only going to get better with content updates over time. But yeah, this stuff can be very interesting. And this is even though it's not a live service game technically, this is the problem with ongoing games, is they're going to have some hiccups. They're going to have some ups and downs over the course of time. And I do think that by and large people overreact to this. Like some of the comments on this were very, very funny. Like Moxie, obviously a big content creator in the Borderlands space, that's a pretty good reaction. Then uh, uh, just complaints about the weekly reset taking so long. I mean, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, mad late and we drop Oppressor. So this is my favorite one. The 12-hour delay into the Oppressor big encore is devious work. Yeah, in general, it's just I found that to be hilarious, and I would highly recommend checking that thread out if you have not already, because it's very funny to me. But that's it for me. I just wanted to keep people updated in case you had checked at the normal reset time and your end game content hadn't reset yet. It is available now. You can go ahead and farm if you so choose. Not everyone's going to make that decision, especially with the Oppressor, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video as always. Comment, subscribe, have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.